I'll do it again. Baseball bat billet, Mid South Woodturners Guild. My name's Rick Cannon. Woodturners Guild is selling these, and I'm gonna do my best to show you how to make one of these. This is my snowman. It's the best I got. Sometimes I hate making them. So this year I started carving them and putting some texture on them, and it lets me practice. I'm trying to find it. There it is.
Turn billet. On the billet. Okay.
Joseph's hollering at me. But once I started texturing them, I started coloring them, wood burning, whatever made me happy that day. So that's what we're doing this for, right? To have fun. So I'm trying to have fun, and this is one of the ways I do it. If everything will go good, I'll show you how even you, can take this and turn it into something like that. I use as few tools as I can. I go as quick as I can. So don't holler at me if you don't catch something. But do ask. If you have a question, ask. I don't want to leave with somebody not being able to go out to their shop this afternoon and do this. I think that's what we're all doing. But okay. One of my favorite tools, no, it's not a badan, it's a big parting tool. But I treat it like a badan, treat it like a parting tool, treat it like a skew. And that's what I use most of the time. That and that. And I'm not seeing myself on the screen, so I'm hoping, everybody knows what that is, right? It's just a roughing gouge. I never understood why they call it a roughing gouge. But okay, so I take the billet, I put a tenon on it. I like working out of the chuck. I could do it in centers, I have. I just like being able to finish the bottom. So I put a tenon on it, lock it in the chuck, stand out of the way. And now it's time to go fast. This billet has a piece into the check, so I got to take that check out. And what I'm looking for is to get a start of the shape. Just trying to get an idea where the head's going to be, how wide the skirt is, because before I go much further, I want to finish the bottom. Don't ever move the tool rest while your leg is running. It's not safe. Bow gouge, right? And if you don't like using bow gouge like that, it's my favorite tool because this is the one I'm holding right now. On mine, I usually put 3 little rings, so I use this little point tool. Now when I'm at home, this is when I take it off and burn my name on it. And at home I have a little piece of wood. It's It's just a little piece of wood that sits on here. And I don't have that here. We have one. Oh, we have one. We have a, oh wow. This is a fancy one. But it's just a rubber stopper. I just like to have the support. One of the famous turners says, always support if you can. So I do. Alright, so now it's time to make the head, mark my shoulders. This is also when I try to practice the one thing I think we all need help on sometimes, is form. Forms, I think we miss out on that sometimes. We get a pretty piece of wood and all the spalting and color and we simply miss out on it. Not big enough. Shoulders down. Shoulders got to be smaller than the curve, bigger than the head. Back to the roughing guy. If you ever watch Mark Spear use the roughing guys, make you wonder why we call it a roughing gap. Y'all might want to change the tools on this, because it's not going as fast as it could. But all I'm trying to do is give it a really, what I think is a nice form, a nice shape. So I want something to flow, and to see that, what I tell everybody is the same thing. Change your perspective. If you're standing right here and it looks good to you, if it's a good form, it'll look good to you from over here, it'll look good to you from over here. I'm also seeing it the way you guys see it. I'm looking at the horizon. This is all I care about right now. I'm trying to get this the way I want it. And right now, at home I have a dark, something dark behind it, so it's a wall. But you can see it pretty good. It looks pretty good to me. So another favorite tool, it's a diamond parting tool. I can't see what y'all see, but somebody got to tell me. And this is where people will wonder what the heck I'm doing. Because all I'm trying to do, hey, there it is again, diamond parting tool. I'll use this edge, this one at the front, and I'll use this edge right here because I'll break it. I know you're not supposed to do that, but if I can get, it's about the shavings, right? If you can take the shavings off the way you want them, that's what it's about. I'm not good with a skew. Don't claim to be, don't see myself in my lifetime making this kind of wood. So, I may do what I got in my hand right then. Now, the head doesn't have to be round. It doesn't have to be pretty. On the top. This I use a skew like a, or a hard tool like a skew. And that's why I don't use a skew tool. Y'all saw it just stir it off of there. Well, all I'm trying to do is get to my next tool. My next favorite tool. Let's take this a little round. try to make this simple so nobody has an excuse not to go do this today. Yeah, y'all haven't figured it out, I like to talk while I'm turning. I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. I heard that. Somebody just said that. I don't ever know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's close, right? And I spoke out of turn before. This is when I would take it off the lathe right now and put a face on it and put the buttons on it and put the name. I take a wood burner and I just burn it on there. All right, next favorite tool. No tool rest. Make no bones about it. This is 80 grit paper. Doesn't go fast. So I'm still looking for the shape. I'm trying to show y'all what I'm doing. Alright, I'm not going to sand a lot. Not everybody know what 80 grit paper do for you. I have this outlook. If I can do one of these in 20 minutes, you can do one in 2 hours. Prove me wrong. Just like any tabletop, I go through the grits. Personally, I like cloth back paper, so when I have it, I use it. Yeah, don't move your tool rest or tail stock or any of that while the lathe running. It is a good practice. Just made these bad habits. I use them. I'm still looking for shadows and lines that interfere with the form, finished form. And that's pretty much where I think I want to be. Colors aren't too wide, skirt's right. And this is my last favorite tool, 240 paper. If you do any spindle work and you're good with this fuse, you're probably still going to sand some. And what I found out was the time I have tried to use this fuse, that the skew finish and the sandpaper finish are different. And they show up after you put the finish on it. And that always bothers me. And I'm just not comfortable with the skew. So, I use other tools. The last thing you want to do when you're doing spindle work or any other woodwork is finish sand with the grain. With the grain. You can't do that with the lathe turning on spindle. I'll back up if I have to. See a line I want to try to take off. For anybody that's thinking about it, we have social distance and we're not wearing a face shield, so we can use a common mic. Somebody's thinking about it. because somebody's thinking about safety. At home, I have a dust collector running and an overhead dust remover. And I wear face shields when I feel like I need it. Let's say it that way. Famous last words, right? All right. I don't know how I'm doing on time. Do I have time to wood burn?
Yeah.
All right. So it'll take just a minute to plug up the wood burner and get it hot.
Coffee break.
Coffee break. Now I would go back and hand sand some maybe, but I will sand some more after I wood burn. Is it plugged? Oh, I'm plugged in. It doesn't matter what kind of wood burner you got, just as long as the light comes on and it gets hot. I'm not going to tell you what I got. I am going to take it out of the chuck though, because that's what I do at home. I'm not comfortable doing it in the chuck. If you don't know, always take the key out of your chuck, unless you're turning the key. But let's see, where am I at here? Okay, so this is my mark. So somebody picks this up and they say, who is that? Whose is that? They say, well, it's Rick's. My kids come up with that a long time ago. If y'all didn't know it, I'm shaking because I'm nervous. It's the camera. First time I did a camera at this club, it was with Joan Kelly, a great turner in my mind. I do look, let's see, trying to find
Can you just
everything's
put it down
back.
on the table, lay?
I can.
Okay, thanks.
And my point being is I'm trying to find the better face. I look at the grain. It's usually going to be on side grain, not on the end grain. And you got the hourglass working here, but you have lots of them over here. So I'm going to call this the front.
Okay, show me what you just did with the grain on top of the chuck.
On top of the chuck. Okay. I'm trying to.
Right there.
Right there. All right. So I've chosen this grain because of this stuff right here. When you finish it, this stuff's going to show up, and it's better to me than this. It's an hourglass. It's pretty. Golly, everything's backwards. But I hope y'all are seeing what I'm talking about. That's the hourglass, and it's pretty. It'll look good finished. But I think this has got more working for it right in here. Not a big thing, but it's something I look at. But then I do 3 little buttons typically. 1, 2, 3. And then my wife, she always makes a little face at me. It's like, why are you doing that? People ask me where this face comes from. Well, that's where, and that's the truth. I asked my kids one time, said, who does this look like to you? And they both, being tactful, just turned and looked at my wife. But that's about it, my friend. That's it right there. All right, so I don't need the wood burner anymore. One time, if y'all let me, I'll show you how I do all the burning, because that's where the fun's at, if you ask me. Okay, that's the snowman, but he has to have a cover. I was in the military. In the military, you got to wear a cover outside. Jeff thought that was funny, and nobody else did.
Stop a minute there, Rick.
Stop it.
We've lost our.
Oh, they're still seeing it.
Oh, y'all are still seeing it. So
Okay.
They're still.
this is what I was talking about. I'm gonna go back and just Try to sand the carbon marks off, and I'll saw a couple of lines here. Always trying to remember that form. I don't burn too deep, I just burn deep enough that it stays. Yeah, you shouldn't touch things on the lathe while they're turning.
They're still seeing it.
Larry says y'all still seeing that, but there you go. That's the face and the end result of the burning. I'm gonna go back and support it, because I'm gonna take it and cut it off right at the top of its head. Hers, his, whatever you want to call it. I support it just because I made that happen. They tell me y'all still seeing this, so I'm gonna keep turning and pretend that y'all are. Top of the head doesn't have to be round, doesn't have to be pretty. Because you get the cover. But he does get a finish. I failed to do that. I wanted to show you how I do my finish. It won't take but a minute. That's why I like it. Take a piece of plastic or something, lay across your ways. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do the bottom. I did want to take a minute to show you how I finish, because it's really that simple. You can use wax, you can use lacquer, you can use enamel after, but this seals it, and it'll show me right away.
Turn the label toward me.
Oh, it's just super glue.
Just put it down.
Oh, let me see. How's that? It's store-bought super glue. That's just, I buy it store-bought, that's all. Doesn't matter whose. I use Mark Soleil's, but I'm just about out of it. I use a paper towel. Let's see how slow it goes. Slower the better. The slower the better. But it doesn't take much. I'm overdoing it a little bit here just because I'm nervous. Being nervous isn't all bad either, I guess. That's what we used to tell our kids. All right. So now would be a good time to put some accelerator on it, but I don't have it. So I'm going to burnish it just a little to help speed up the drying. I don't worry about the neck, because the neck gets a ribbon. Your ribbon, I'm not going to do that. All right, that's why they call it super glue. But if you take paper towel and hold it like that while it's turning, it'll come right off the lathe for you, just like it's supposed to happen. Ideally, I would have burnished that, but that's the snow person, snow folk, snowman, whatever you want to call it. We got to have a hat. These are good for your fire pit. They're good for my fire pit. This is probably the hardest part right here. Roughing gal. That thumping you hear is that voice, and I'm trying to turn that away. But all they need is turned away for that right in here. Let's look. I still don't see what y'all see, so forgive me. Let's take it a little bit more, not much. Back to my bowl guys. I have a real cut gouge somewhere. It's something I got from Aramont. An old man named Ray Key was there. And this is his grind. He's a good guy. But it's a drill, and all it is, that top wing is taken off because he liked doing boxes with it. You want to cut end grain, this is a good way. And what I'm talking about is with the bowl gouge or spindle gouge or whatever, cut from the center out. This thing's not going as fast as you're going to want it. Here right now is me being focused. The faster it goes, the better. But you'll get the shavings you want with this cut. And I'm not talking about the grind, the way, and the cleaning. I'm talking about with the bowl guys in general. But what I'm trying to do is get the thing to fit on the young man's head. And that's something you don't want to happen. Somebody's going to say it's because it didn't close the jaws tight enough. So there. It's not like a traditional hat that has to be hollow. This has to look like it's hollow. And that'll fit really well.
There we're off.
We're off.
One off?
We're off?
Hold on. Hold on.
I'm holding.
Rick, stop.
I'm holding.
Okay.
I'm trying to hurry too. I feel like I've gone past.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
rush.
I always rush.
We got one video is closed. Everything's got closed today.
Can they hear us? I don't want to say something stupid again. I'm just trying to put it back around. It looks better round. Yeah, well, it's not the tension, it's the gear. I'm sure that's what it is. Do we not, we have the opportunity to change, yeah.
Spotlight.
Ta-da! I heard me. Okay, so I've laid my glasses down. So we're gonna turn the hat. I'm assuming y'all see me. If you don't see me, forgive me and be better for it. I'm gonna turn that a little deeper if I can do it without taking it out of the jaws. If I can find. I'm not at home. All right, so we'll turn the lathe on, take the drill, and take like
I can't spotlight.
all I'm trying to do is take a little bit of this mass out so that it's easier to fit the snowman head in there. And I'm going to give myself a divot. That'll be important to me later. Just a center divot. Alright. Measure 20 times, cut once. There we go. And I can spin that hat around however I want because I never wore my hat the military way. I don't see any reason to do that now. Alright. I'm back to my other favorite tool. This is that, not a badan, but a big parting tool. We're going to try to make it look like a hat. Try not to go smaller than the hole on the other side. If you ever turn the bowl and you didn't do that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I also have learned to turn the hole inside the hat at an angle. So it's sort of bowl shape, which gives me a little room here. Most of all my hats have a hat band. So we're going to decide what that looks like right now. This is how I call it a skew. I'm going to use that front left leading corner. As long as you're doing that, staying on top of the wood, it's a skew. Not a noun, but an adjective. Skew. That looks like a top hat, doesn't it? Give a little bit of curve at the top. Just a little. If I drill good, that other would be like a snowman. And here I am using another favorite tool. It's that diamond parting tool. I don't worry about getting the hat top really smooth because still got to take care of the button, and I just take care of it all at one time. Oh, I messed up. but that's what we do. What I should have done was cut a V about a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch from there, because this is torn into the top of the hat. I can mount this and take it back off and clean that up. You can do whatever you see fit to do. I just messed up.
Sandpaper.
Well, no, it's about an 1/8 inch. Well, I could with this 80 grit. But then it's a simple thing to paint the hat. I use acrylics. I like to take and dowel the hat onto the head. So we're gonna put a dowel in there. I don't have my little saw. I have a little saw at home. But I would take this, put it in at a little bit of an angle. When I set it on his head, her head, whatever, it'll set at an angle. And I like that. I have used the drill press to do all of that. Ha ha, my friends. Ask and you do. But you don't need much. You just need a little bit to go down into the head, because some of the head's sticking into the hat. This is a 1/4 inch dowel. You can use a 3-inch dowel if you choose, just gotta make a bigger head. But that's all it's gonna look like. But that goes there. You put a dab of glue in it. I'd put an accelerator on the dowel so that it fixes right then. At home, that's what I'd do. We're going to take this off just to give it a better place to start my drill. Thank you, Bob. But nothing special, though. Then I take and put the hat on. Ta-da!
Cool.
She get a ribbon with a Windsor knot. A little paint, maybe, this is packing tape for Christmas wrapping. But if I do good, it'll look something like that at the end of the day. And I try to make it simple so you can go out to your shop and turn one of these today.
Thanks, Rick.
Ta-da! Oh, you guys are fine. Let me get out of your way.
It's 10 o'clock. You want to take a short break?
Yeah.
5 minutes?
Yeah, let's do
Now.
All right, I'm Bob Wolf, and I'll be the next presenter. I'm going to do a Christmas ornament globe with the finials, and we're going to go ahead and set up. So we'll take about a 5-minute break, and be back. And we're going to work on some of the technical difficulties that we've been having. Hopefully, we'll get back to you and be flawless. So, see you in about 5.